A pole saw. So I have owned, I bought my first EARTHWISE pole saw about 6 years ago. I just bought a new one about a year ago. I had it for 5 years. I used it all the time, and I just got a brand new one. And I love me a pole saw. Why? Because I can make firewood, I can trim trees, I can cut down branches. I don't have to get on a ladder. We are doing our beautiful 8-amp corded pole saw today at the lowest price we have ever done. Wait till you see the price, all right? Normally these are $79, $99, $109, $129. Today we are doing it, I believe it's $69.95, the lowest price we have ever done with this. What do I love about this pole saw? First of all, it is lightweight. It only weighs about, it's under 10 pounds. You can telescope it, so you can open it up and make it as long as you need, so that when I am cutting things, I don't have to go way, way up on a ladder. I can reach anything that I need to reach, standing firmly on the ground. I can articulate the pole saw itself by turning the button, so now I can turn it on an angle. This is the bar and chain. You'll notice this is a 10-inch bar and chain. This one's actually bigger than mine, the bar and chain. That's just the amount it'll cut. So this will cut a branch anywhere that is within that diameter right there. So if you have branches, you know, that are that big, it'll take them right down. There is no maintenance on this. The only thing you need to do right here is a little dial, is we will give you chainsaw oil, a little bottle of it. You pour it in, put the cap back on. There's a window. Let me turn this around like this. There is a window right here, and you'll see that'll turn black. That means it's full of oil. That just lubricates the saw as it's spinning round and round and round. I am just telling you, don't be afraid of this. It is so easy to use, and when you get out and you're cutting down limbs that are hanging over your driveway, branches that are hanging in front of your picture window, you will absolutely love it. My buddy Peter is back. Peter is gonna finish out the show with me today. Peter, I think the first EARTHWISE thing I ever bought was a pole saw, and I love this one. Yep.
Yeah, you know what, Guy, I just listened to everything you said, and you talk about, you know, how we have so many great features on this pole saw. And what I was hearing is that this is the perfect pole saw for everyone at home, just like you and I, Guy, that, you know, we've used it. This is built for the things that we do at home. This is built to make sure that we can clear those branches that are a little too high, maybe near the driveway, getting close to the cars, or maybe they get close to the roof and the windows. You're going to be able to take care of that. You're going to be able to handle branches 10, 11, 12 feet in the air, because this is so easy to use. 9 pounds. It will extend over 9 feet. And then obviously I'm 6 feet tall, but however tall you are, you can extend that even further. But let's just show everyone how it works and how you talked about it. It's not intimidating. So what's nice about it is that I'm also on the back end of this, so I'm not near where the action's happening, but I can fire that up and just rest that down on the wood. Now, I'm just letting the saw do the work for me. Just let it work its way through there. And I'm using some very hard wood today. But what's cool about this is you're not hanging on for dear life. You're just letting that saw work its way through without issue. And it's not intimidating. You're back here. As soon as you let go of that trigger, it stops and you're ready to go. So for anyone who's never used a chainsaw or a pole saw, you're trying to decide whether you want a chainsaw or a pole saw, I say go for this. This pole saw can do it all, and it's built for everyone at home watching right now.
Peter, at $69.95.
Wow.
I bought my original. When I first bought mine, I paid $129.95 for our first pole saw. The one I just bought last year, the new one, because Peter, I had my last pole saw almost 6 years. I mean, that's a really good run for a chainsaw. But I just bought the last one, and with my discount, it was like 89 bucks. This is $69.95. All right? And it's so easy to use, all right? I mean, all you gotta do, like I said, you put a little oil in the thing. We give you the oil when you get ready. Make sure you're wearing protective glasses. And remember, I'm way back here. I'm nowhere near the blade, so it's a much safer saw to use. I'm just gonna lay it on. The weight of the saw is enough to be able to cut it. Little trick I'll tell you is start the saw before you put it on the wood, so it has a little bit of a head start. So I got it going, watch. And then I just let it sit right on top. Done. I'll do it again. Nothing. Easy. That is how easy. One more. I mean, and look at how clean that cut is. Look at that clean cut. That is how easy, and there's no combustion engine, there's no gas, I don't have to pull start anything. All I do is give it a little squeeze. There's a double trigger, safety trigger. I will be honest, this is not for your kids. It's for grown-ups or kids that you trust that are old enough to handle it. But the fact is, I think what people are afraid of with a regular chainsaw, Peter, your hands with a regular chainsaw are only a few inches away from the blade. With this, you are 5 to 9 feet away from the blade, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And with this one, you talked about how you have the safety features built into the handle. When you let go, everything stops. With those gas-powered handheld chainsaws, you are close to it. The motor is always running, even sometimes when the chain isn't actually going. But this is not intimidating, as you just showed, as I was demonstrating. But what's so nice is that it's also professional quality, that you're getting that 10-inch bar and chain. It's an Oregon bar and chain, which is the industry standard that you're going to see on those much more expensive professional chainsaws. So you're getting that. Just like you always talk about, Guy, in the kitchen, you want a sharp knife because that's a safer knife. Same kind of concept here. Also, so lightweight, you're going to love it with that fiberglass pole. But I want to show you this, how we can extend this out by doing this. There we go. Extend this out, and I lock that collar in place. Now, you can also extend it from the back as well. So what happens with that is that you can extend it so you can balance it on both sides. So now, look at this. When I extend this to its full 9 feet 3 inches, plus me standing here, I mean, look at how high I can cut limbs, because you're so high up there, still cutting at a 45-degree angle. Now, watch this. I know you know this already, Guy. This is our only chainsaw pole saw that has that articulating motor at the top, so you can be at the perfect angle. When you go up onto those tree limbs, you can get that perfect angle. Also, that motor is in line. There's no big motor on the side, which kind of blocks your view when you're up overhead. You're doing all this safely. You're doing it without being on a ladder, which makes it ultimately much safer. You're going to love using this. And, Guy, then I think we can really talk about all the chances you'll have to use this when you get it home.
And hey, we'll be honest, you're not going to use it every day, but I guarantee you're going to use it at least a couple of times a month. That's why $69.95 is such a great deal for this company from EARTHWISE, and you know, they stand behind their product. You get a 2-year warranty on this. I had my first one for almost 6 years, and I used it a lot. In fact, the way it finally kicked, I was using it at my neighbor's yard. And I was using it because, you know, my neighbor didn't have a way to get up and do all these trees, and I was using it for literally like 2.5 hours one day. And I just used it too much. It just got too hot. But that was 6 years. I had it for, these things are built to last. You're gonna absolutely love them. They're easy to maintain. All you do is make sure there's a little oil. You only have to fill it with oil about once every 5 or 6 months, all right? And that's it. It's maintenance free. No pull starting. No worrying about mixing gas and oil. No big time noise that you get with a regular. And by the way, I've used regular chainsaws on several occasions. I had a very good friend of mine in Tennessee who had they had a really bad storm, and a giant tree fell on his storage barn. So we were up there cutting it. They are not easy to use. You can't, I mean, you really got to know what you're doing. With this, put on your goggles, plug it in, find the tree, cut it off. That's all you need to do. And you know, it's funny, Peter, when we first started presenting these, whenever we would ask for callers, Peter, who would always call in?
Yeah, it would always be the ladies who never thought that they could ever use a pole saw.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. They would call in and they would give they'd give their testimonial, and they'd be like, it weighs less than 10 pounds. It weighs less than my vacuum or any other, you know, mop that I have that's heavy duty or carpet cleaner. I can easily get out there and I can do it myself. And Peter, you and I live in Florida. If somebody wanted to come and trim our palm trees, what would they charge us?
Well, per palm tree.
Yeah.
So if you have 8, 10 palm trees, you know, $50, $75 per tree.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I have some of these giant oak trees. Now, I definitely can't get all the way up into the oak trees to trim them back because they're so tall. But what I've noticed is that the parts that get really close to the driveway, I can do so much of it that I don't have to have a professional come more than every 2 or 3 years, which is great. Let me just do some more cutting. So I want people to, again, see how easy this is, how you don't have to hold on for dear life. remember, it weighs 9 pounds, but just that 6 or so pounds that's at the front of the unit. So the motor, which is about 6 pounds, that's just going to work its way through the cut. Whether you're doing it just in front like I am, or you have it up overhead, remember, that's going to work its way through. You talked about that automatic oiling system, oiling that bar and chain automatically. Again, these are high-end features. What's nice about it is they're features you don't have to worry about. You just have to know that this is not intimidating. And Guy, why I have you here, let's just show everyone again the safety. That's what we're all about. So I try to pull that trigger. I can't pull that trigger unless I hit the safety button first and then hit the trigger. And as soon as I let go, I can't go back to the trigger. Always have to hit that safety switch as well. So you're never going to accidentally start it. And when you let go, it stops. So again, safety's huge. EARTHWISE has thought of everything. You're getting a 2-year warranty, which is twice the industry average. And again, this has the features that you want for the jobs you're going to do. You're going to use it now. Things are growing. But I think one of the best times, and I know you know this, Guy, is in the fall. Get everything cut back before the winter time. That's a great time to use your pole saw.
Year, or when you've got branches after a ice storm that are hanging over your car, you pop this in, plug it in, and you can take those things right down without waiting for somebody. And you know you'll wait forever in a storm for somebody to come help you. You know, I think, Peter, what we learned after the pandemic last year is that the more we can do on our own, the better we are off in the long run, right? Less exposure to other folks. Not only that, but you know, now everybody is so busy because the world is back out there and on fire again, going crazy with needing stuff. You can do this yourself. This pole saw right here. I'll get it back straight, lock it in. You can use this. It is not too heavy. It is not clumsy. It is not intimidating whatsoever. You're going to be able to cut through anything. All right, and if you're just using it to make firewood, you know, if you're using it in the fall and you want to trim down branches, wintertime, you get a big branch hanging over full of ice. You know, maybe right now is a great time because we're still doing cleanup as we get into summer. And yes, you're not going to use this every day. You may not use it every week, but I will guarantee when it comes time to trimming your trees, you will go to this before you get on a ladder. And I always say to people, Peter, do not get on a ladder with any kind of a power tool. Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not going to have to. I have this resting on the ground. It's 9 feet, 3 inches high. But here's the amazing part. This aluminum and fiberglass, it weighs 9 pounds. So you can handle this. And I think that's ultimately what's so important. Not intimidating. You can do it. It's going to work, Guy. It really will.
All right, Peter, before I let you go, do we let Peter go? All right. Hey, Peter, will you talk about the reel mower for just about 30 seconds real quick? Because that's coming up.
Yeah, the reel mower is fantastic. It's a 5-blade mower. It's super easy to push. So, Guy, you and I think about that as being